Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. Michael Maxwell, you need to keep an eye on him, okay? That particular place that he calls a church, if it is what people say it is, historians will know, okay? If it is what they say it is, it could have been turned into a library or a school, but certainly not a church. It should have been, there are some people that don't want to burn things down and start fresh. You don't have the money to start fresh. You have to use what you already have, okay? That's what you have to do. Sometimes you just have to make do with what you have, okay? So the church is there already, and you know that they were part and parcel of what happened to you in your history. Don't play dumb, okay? Don't play dumb, okay? So when you have to make do to make ends meet, turn it into a museum, turn it into a school for higher learning, but certainly it cannot remain as a church. Certainly it cannot remain as a church. And you have to watch what people do and the ties that they have and who they align themselves with. You know, sometimes you hear people say, you have to get your act together. This is all an act. We play our roles, and part of this act and part of the roles we play place us where we are at the moment. Every decision you've made they have placed you where you are in this moment at this time, okay? So I'm going to make a long story short. I'm going to make a real long story short. You cannot be out there talking about reparations, Black Lives Matter, and Black people are beautiful, we're beautiful, and you cannot be out there talking about reparations and, Black Lives Matter and whatever else in that domain and go home to a Caucasian spouse. You can't. The sacrifices in this game, in this play, they're not hard. You just have to understand the game that we're in, that you're playing. You cannot be for one master and another master and think that people are going to not recognize that you're going to like one master better than the other. It can happen. It cannot happen. You cannot dress like this. You cannot dress like this and talk about Black people and enslavement. Hey, you kidding me? It's an impossibility. The contradictions are stark. They're stark, too stark to ignore. You will have to have a mind that is so closed down that they don't see what is in front of them. They don't see anything for what it is. They're just so blind. You need to be leading the blind on this one. But like I said, keeping my story short, you cannot be for one thing and go home to the other thing. You cannot be for one thing and step into the halls and in the presence of the other thing. Okay? It's your mind. Your mind is going to have, it's going to eclipse. Your mind is not going to work well. You're going to have high blood pressure. You're going to have health problems, okay? You're not going to see straight. You're going to be one eye is going to be looking one way, and the other eye is going to be looking the other way. It's going to be all confusion within your body. When you pick a side, you have to stick in that lane and on that side. When you take on a position in life, you have got to immerse yourself within that position that you have embraced. You cannot have two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Okay, and that's what Michael is doing. He's serving two masters, and then he talks about pundits and cynics. Nah, it's history. It's life. It's the game we play. It's the game we're in. You have to get your act together. You have to get your act together Okay? And like the example I gave, you cannot be out there talking Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, reparations, reparations, and out there black. I'll go home to a Caucasian spouse. It can't happen. Can't happen. You gotta pick your side. You have to pick your lane. Because when you're there talking about all the lives that matter, you go home, you think the other end of the stick that you have at home don't hear you, don't see you. Now, if I were in a situation like that, where someone was, trying to pull a situation up, and I was on the opposite side of that situation, my family and my bloodline was on the opposite side of that situation, I would think I'm in a sticky situation. Well, that's the way I think. I would think I'm in a situation, well, when the light turns on in this person's head, where do I stand? Because it's obvious that the light has not turned on in his head, in her head, or whatever. I will realize that I'm with a foolish person. I'm in a relationship with someone who is foolish, for them not to recognize that their talk and their preaching and all their whatever they're doing for the applause, that I'm on the opposite end of that. I'm on the opposite end of that, and it's only a matter of waking up. So I'm going to stick around for someone to wake up to realize that they're sleeping with me. I'm the enemy. I'm going to stick around for that. This guy here, Michael Maxwell, he's serving two masters. He's serving two masters, and the book that he has, it should be under his arm somewhere. You can't see it because of the base sleeves, but the book that they walk around with under their arm and that kind of stuff, it tells you that you cannot serve two masters, because you're gonna like one and betray the other one. Okay? That's my long story that I made short. You gotta pick a side. This is Sherry Veronica.